Hey guys, so this is what if what if Deku was Spider-Man? Now, you already know me guys, as the what if for on My Hero Academia, other animes, and also the what if that does take all sorts of requests, and also the what if that does MCU what ifs. So, after this what if, I will be uploading a request about what if Spider-Man had Quicksilver's powers from the MCU Tom Holland Spider-Man. I don't know how that would even work, but I'll just do it anyways. So yeah, so basically, this what if Spider-Man Deku is going to be having the abilities of Spider-Man. Now, basically, guys, I actually did this what if a couple months back. Now, I've lost all my scripts of that what if, and also I think I finished that what if. So, yeah, but I'm going to be redoing it, and I'm going to be doing it better this time. So yeah, so let's get into it. So basically, Deku in this universe is bullied all the same. He's bullied like everybody, like he was in canon. One day, on the last day of school, they actually go on a field trip to a science exhibit. Pretty much they go there and they go to Oscorp or whatever it is. So pretty much they take into a spider section where they start, they're showing them experimental spiders. Basically, Deku, is looking at them, and Deku wanders off. Because, Deku wanders off, and pretty much he bumps into, a room. Deku opens a room, and he sees all these webs, and all these, machines around the webs. And then the webs start, moving, and the spiders start jumping off. The spiders start jumping off on, Deku. Now in this universe, Deku's real name is actually changed to American name Peter Parker. So yeah, so Deku's name is actually the full name of Spider-Man. So Deku was still called Deku though because of he's bullied. So Deku pretty much runs out of there, and he gets stopped by Bakugo. Bakugo says the teacher sent me to get you, and come with me, you little nerd, grabbing Deku by the head. So I mean from the tip of the hair, like pushing him from the hair. So pretty much after the trip is done, the teacher scolds Deku, and pretty much they get the rest of the tour, and they get sent back home. Deku goes back home, feeling feeling a little sick. Deku on the bus actually felt a little pain in his neck, and then when he got home, he found out it was a spider on his neck with web on it, some sort of strong, pretty much lace or something. So for the next couple of days on the 10-month art training, Deku found out that he had superhuman abilities and spider powers. So Deku started getting spider powers right when he started training. Deku just started training because he just wanted to, try to have a chance to become a quirkless hero. Deku was fighting, and pretty much Deku, tries to lift up some trash in Digio Beach. And Deku actually succeeds and picks up tons of trash that not a quirkless person can do. Only a person with a quirk can do. So Deku's confused, and over the 10 months, Deku develops, all of his abilities. Now, Deku will have all the classic abilities, and Deku will also have organic webbing from his wrist, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and also Deku will have a OP spider sense. And I mean like OP. I mean like straight up, he can see the future type of stuff. The spider sense will be off sometimes, so Deku will be able to get hit, because it wouldn't be, actual interesting what if Deku was just, be able to dodge everything. But yeah, so basically, Deku's fire sense is going to be, flickering or, turning off and on at, weird times, but Deku's fire sense is going to be very potent. Pretty much, Deku's fire sense is basically someone, flicking the back of his brain. That's how strong Deku's fire sense is. So he will instantly know he's in danger. So basically, Deku has the proportional strength of a spider. Now, Deku's top strength will basically, for now, will be the top strength that Tobey Maguire shown in Spider-Man 2. Like how stopping that, bus. So, yeah. So, that train. So Deku will be able to stop a train at the strength he's already at without any, training. But Deku will get to a point of, almost keeping together a whole entire ship just by his webs. How, like, Tom Holland Spider-Man did. Or, how Spider-Man, you know, holded up a whole entire bus. I mean, a whole entire train. Like, a whole entire train. I mean, like, multiple train carts on top. And a train cart is pretty heavy. Let me Google that real quick. My gosh. That's really heavy. Yeah. So Spider-Man basically did do this in the real comics. He did, lift up a couple of, you know, train carts, and also he did rip um, a whole entire piece of what was it? A tank off with his bare hands, and punched Scorpion's jaw clean off. Now Scorpion was superhuman, so that must have been pretty difficult, but he said it was easy, so Spider-Man pretty strong, if you tell me, if he doesn't hold back. So yeah. So basically, Deku actually will have, not have, it will be like a superior Spider-Man arc, but Deku will be Deku. He'll just have you know, a different personality, and just stop trying to be a hero, just try to be like an anti-hero or something like that. So Deku starts off the 10-month arc training, figuring out his abilities, actually doing crime fighting and, vigilante work. So Deku does vigilante work, and Deku's vigilante leads to him getting a lot more experience with beating up villains, and also a lot more, quicker thinking, because he's in, a real situation. Deku's going to get killed if he doesn't, act fast. Now, Deku, pretty much focuses on his strength, his agility, his speed, his reflexes, and his healing. Pretty much Deku gets a lot more, experience than any of the other kids in Class 1A when he goes to UA. So Deku pretty much takes out a couple of villains, and over the 10 month, Deku becomes, the 10 months, Deku becomes a really popular and very known vigilante. Now, Deku's vigilante suit is kind of like his superhero suit that he's going to be wearing for his, real hero work when he gets into UA. So Deku, basically his vigilante suit, is exactly like the Scarlet Witch, but the Scarlet Spider suit. Deku's hair costume basically looks exactly like the Scarlet Witch suit. I mean, the Scarlet Spider suit with, the blue hoodie. Now, it doesn't look nothing like the MCU, homemade suit. It's just like this suit. So pretty much Spider-Man, does his vigilante work in this suit, taking down people, and also, learning that whole entire technique of, throwing quips and funny jokes then in there, to sort of take his, well, bad guys. So if you don't know, Spider-Man does explain that he does quippy jokes and, puns all the time to, throw off his villains, to make him think that, he doesn't take them serious. So they would act up in rage, and, Spider-Man can take them off guard. So Spider-Man's whole entire gist of making those quips is just to mess with his opponents. And also, he did say it's kind of fun to see them, go crazy. So, pretty much Spidey on Deku does the same tactic, and also becomes, names himself exactly Scarlet Spider. So he named himself Scarlet Spider. Some of the thugs call him, the Red Spider. Pretty much they said that he's a Spider-Man or something, I don't know. Pretty much Deku takes down vigilantes and, muggers and all other stuff. Deku does run into multiple villains. Kraven the Hunter, actually, doing the first week of his vigilante work. And the last week, Deku runs into Kingpin. And the third week, Deku, after, meeting Kraven the Hunter, Deku also runs into a couple other villains like Electro, and becomes, a pretty sensational vigilante. Some of the people on the streets actually see Scarlet Spider as, a real hero, even though he's a vigilante. So basically, seeing this happen, the heroes try to, track down Spider-Man, or, the Scarlet Spider. So, Deku's too, slick with it. Deku always hides his suit in a different area and discontaminates it, pretty much keeping it as far away from his house, like a couple blocks away from his house, so no one can track it back to him. So, if anybody had a tracking quirk on his suit, Deku wouldn't be, traced back to it. Because he always disinfects his suit when he gets off of vigilante work. So, none of his DNA is on it. So, Deku, is always safe. So, yeah. So, Deku pretty much becomes a really well-known vigilante and becomes a lot more, experienced. So, we skip to the entrance exams, and Deku gets, ready. So Deku gets ready, and pretty much they get started with the entrance exams. So they start with the entrance exams. Deku does bump into, um, well, what was it? A mystery girl that you guys in the comments will decide who should be the ship for this Spider-Man What If. So guys, go in the comments, type in the ship, and I'll do it if it's a good one. And most of the people in the comments to agree with it. So yeah. So yeah. So basically, Deku says it's okay and pretty much walks off from the mystery girl that bumped into him. So basically, Deku goes to the entrance exams and get started. So they start the entry exams, and Deku pretty much sprints off. Now Deku doesn't get stopped by Ida because he doesn't go to Ochaku because he never met Ochaku. So he swings past everybody, actually wearing a blue jumpsuit with the spider logo slightly, stitched on the wrist of his, jumpsuit. So he starts swinging around and, swinging left and right using his, organic webbing. So, pretty much, Deku actually used web shooters that he made himself so he can become, a lot more different and look a lot more different. And his tactics were a little bit more different than Deku's tactics when he, wasn't a vigilante when he was trying to become a hero. Try to, stay out of people thinking he's a vigilante. Now, Deku stopped being a vigilante for a long time when, the entry exam was rolling up. So Deku, swinging around, taking down robots, webbing them up, crushing them, punching them into walls, all sorts of stuff. Deku eventually comes across a zero-pointer robot and swings off, but he hears, his spiders just go off, and he sees that Ochaku is under some rubble and about to get crushed. Deku swings over there, grabs Ochaku, and swings away, in one foul swoop, using his spider, well, knowledge, and also having a lot of swinging skill over the 10-month training. So Deku swings her out of safety, as when he swings her out of danger and into safety, and basically the matches end off there, or the test ends off there. So pretty much everybody's sent back home. Deku gets the note from Yue that he got in, and goes to Yue the next day. So everybody, is in class 1A. Everybody, the same people are in class 1A. The mystery girl is in the back of the class, and Deku sits, a row away from her. So basically, Deku is, talking to other students and talking to, trying to, know Todoroki. Deku does, notice Bakugo in the front of class looking at him, giving the death stare, but Azawa shows up and pretty much explains that the class are doing quirk assessments and they go outside. They go outside and Deku took the ball first. Deku grabs the ball and chucks it as hard as he can, throwing it pretty much almost out of the atmosphere, almost, past some clouds, all that other stuff. Making, almost breaking the sound barrier just a little bit. So yeah, so Deku gets a pretty good score all around. Deku gets second place in that. So pretty much for the long jump, Deku aces it, obviously, because Spider-Man has crazy hops. For the race, Deku gets about third place. And for the, no, Deku gets about second place for the race. And for the grip test strength, Deku gets first place. So in all total, Deku gets about second place. And Bakugo gets third, and Todoroki gets first. So, yeah. So basically, I'm not gonna leave it off here. I'm gonna do a little vigilante stuff. So yeah. So pretty much, Deku being a vigilante goes back into his vigilante suit for one last time to try to take down one villain that he's been trying to take down for a long time, Kraven the Hunter. So Deku hunts down Kraven the Hunter to a basement where he sees all of his villains there. He sees Electro, Kingpin, and Kraven the Hunter there, pretty much, talking about how we had to get rid of Scarlet Spider. He's been gone for a couple of days, but he's going to be coming back. We don't even know where he's going to strike next. And minutes later, the lights turn off inside the, building, and Deku shows up. Now, Deku did install, what was it? X-ray sight into his god. Pretty much Deku, pretty much has the ability to basically see through dark with his new tech-based mask that he made. So Deku looks around and pretty much seeing that he sees them in the dark, freaking out. Electro's about to use his powers to light up the building, but Spider-Man takes him out, and Jiffy pretty much cracking his elbow, no, cracking his neck with a quick jab to the throat, not killing him, but knocking him out. So Kingpin pretty much yells out to his thugs to just light up everything. Pretty much just shooting everywhere. Deku dodges all of the bullets and takes down all the thugs in a matter of minutes, a matter of seconds actually. So he goes after Craven the Hunter. Craven the Hunter pretty much uses his hearing to see where Deku is, but Deku's too stealthy and pretty much takes down Craven the Hunter in a couple minutes. Getting a little bit of bruises then and there because the Craven Hunter cut him somewhere, in his knees and also his elbow. So yeah. So pretty much Deku eventually comes across Kingpin and pretty much the lights turn off and the police are there. The police find out where they are. Craven the Hunter gets back up after, a couple minutes and pretty much flees. Electro flees as well, and Kingpin pretty much tells all of them to light up the police. But, his goons are all knocked out. Kingpin goes into jail or gets arrested, but, he's going to get out of jail because, he's Kingpin and he has all sorts of friends in different deep places. And they also try to, arrest Deku. And also, Azawa is actually with the police. Deku looks at them, pretty much not saying anything, because Deku doesn't say anything that much, doing his whole entire vigilante thing. And also has a voice changer on his vigilante suit, so it doesn't sound like him. So Deku looks at them and pretty much sprints off, webbing around. Azawa chases after Deku and, starts running after Deku to building to building. Deku tries to, shake Azawa off of him, but Azawa ain't stopping. Azawa doesn't use his quirk on Deku, but yet again, Deku's quirk isn't a quirk, it's a genetic enhancement. Deku doesn't, quirk deleting or quirk unactivating powers don't work on Deku because Deku doesn't necessarily have an actual quirk. And Deku knows that. So pretty much Deku starts whipping away from Mizawa, and Mizawa can't, figure out why he can't, erase his quirk. Deku uses the last of his, strength to web off super fast using that slingshot move, pretty much webbing into the city, and, losing Azawa there. So Azawa is confused and pretty much, stomps his foot on the roof there, he got lost off or shaked off by Deku, pretty much saying that why could I not use my quirk on him? Pretty much, stuttering a little bit because he was kind of confused. So Deku gets back home, a little bit beaten up and bruised up, but, his mom's still asleep. So Deku, gets rid of his outfit, disinfects it, and puts it in a safe place around the city. So Deku goes back to school the next day, gets a good night rest of sleep, about 5 hours of sleep, and goes back to school the next morning. Now, Spider-Man has, been awake for about, I think he's been awake for like a week and a half in the comics. He's like been awake for months in the comics one. So Spider-Man is, pretty good in, the sleeping apartment. So I'm gonna leave it up here, guys. See you guys later. Bye. Deuces, and as always, guys, have a blessed day, and bye. Also, guys, one last thing. You guys always know you can request for pretty much anything, and see you guys later. Bye. Have a blessed day.